Welcome everyone to another PLM book launch event. I am here with Emma Extreme Murray, a award-winning author, and we're here to celebrate her newest collection coming from Undertaker Books. And I want to make sure I say this right. The Drowning Machine and Other Obsessions. It just came out. There was an uprising against it because it was so good, and an army of snails tried to sabotage her, but we managed to get it out because of Undertaker Books really just muscling through the drama. And so now we're here with Emma today to celebrate this book, but also to dig into the drama. Why are the snails against her? What has she done to them? I have a secret informant that we're going to surprise Emma with later, but otherwise we're going to have the standard giveaways, the author interview, live reading, and and a quiz. I was like, I know there was something. It's because it's not my usual spiel, so I couldn't remember it. All right, welcome, Emma.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for letting me do your launch party.
Thank you for doing it. I love your launch parties. I've been to a bunch of them.
Thank you. I've gotten better at it. I remember when I first started, I was so awkward because of the public speaking. So it's been good practice. It's been good practice. I'm less awkward, but not too awkward. Or damn it. All right. So if you don't know who Emma E. Murray is, that's your fault, and I'm here to educate you. So she's a writer of horror and dark speculative fiction and finds inspiration in the macabre and unsettling, and a reflection of her fascination with the human psyche, nurtured by her background in psychology, education, and literature. What you'll find in all her work are morally gray characters, struggles with complicated grief and mental illness, and a queer feminine lens of horror. While she loved her years as an elementary teacher, getting to know and teach many wonderful students, she's now embraced her true calling as an author. As a Southern girl who's lived all over the US as well as overseas, she has stories set in many places, but seems to keep coming back to the South. Besides writing, she loves playing pretend with her daughter, hiking, retro video games, and playing Dungeons and Dragons. Also, her debut novel, Crushing Snails, won the 2024 Goblin's Choice Award from the Dead Languages podcast. I like that you added that in. I noticed that when I was grabbing it, I was like, hell yeah.
Of course, I have put on everything that I am an award-winning author because of this.
I love that.
It counts.
Yes. So I'm going to share Emma's all her links, her webpage, as well as the link if you don't have a copy yet. Maybe wait until the end because you might win a signed copy, but it's all here. And I do want to say Undertaker Books has been super kind to say that if you go directly to their website, which is linked in what I just shared, if you buy directly from Undertaker, not only will you get the paperback, but they'll send you a free ebook copy. So even better, you know? Okay, so let's see. Everyone was chiming in about how wonderful you are. So Irving says you're a great writer, kind and supportive. Also the eyeshadow on point.
Thank you.
May, yes, all cameras off except for the star of the show. It's better for the recording. A little logistics. I have it set up so only the cameras show, so this just keeps it clean so the focus can be on Emma. TJ says her stories are truly horrific, but also simultaneously gorgeous, and also the kindest person in the world. Jenny says Emma rules, snails drool. Oh, some controversy. We'll see what the informant has to say about that. Rebecca says muscling through the drama is our new slogan. Irving says mollusking through the drama. Did I say that? Mollusking? Mollusking. I don't think I'm saying that right.
Mollusking.
Mollusking. Yes. Okay. So for those of you who haven't
you're doing something terrible.
Yeah. Whoever hasn't attended one of my events, I sometimes struggle with pronunciation. So you'll just have to forgive me, and you're going to see it in full force because TJ decided to hurt me. And the idea he came up with for the quiz is going to be just horrific. All right. So, oh yeah, everyone is like, you all should see the coming. It's high up though, so she'd have to like leave to go get it.
And I'm short. So it's really hard for me to get to.
She had to hide it from the children is all I'm saying. I handmade it, so I handmade it. So it is made with skill.
It's beautiful. I should post another picture.
Yeah. I think Joe Koch posted a photo of him licking his. So there's that.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, it is made with love and affection. Thank you. All right. So first on our docket, we're gonna do a little I'm gonna do the interview first and then we're gonna do a first giveaway. Just shuffle it around. So for the interview, first of all, the hard-hitting question. Do you think you did a disservice to the snails by writing crushing snails? Because I do have an informant here who did
Oh
in
no.
fact, yes, oh yeah, I'm blurring him for his protection. There we go. This is Sir Snails a lot. And he says you genocided his whole family. Can you comment?
Yeah, that is definitely a no comment. You can talk to my lawyer.
See, there he is. He may look like he's smiling, but those are tears coming down his face.
I'm so
So,
sorry.
yeah, so he actually managed to escape Emma's house through a box when she sent me a copy of Crushing Snails, and he was sobbing and shaking. Yeah, his name is Sir Snails a lot. And so he's saying that the sabotage of this collection, for those of you who don't know, Amazon was infiltrated by 200 snails dressed as an Amazon employee who proceeded to cancel all of Emma's pre-orders, which thanks Amazon. But that also meant everyone who pre-ordered it didn't get it. So if you were looking to get the drowning machine and other obsessions and your pre-order just died, it was because of the snails. Ebook pre-orders. The paper books were safe from the sabotage, but the ebook orders were sabotaged by 200 snails dressed as an Amazon employee. I don't know if that you could say like Amazon is such a slimy company, they couldn't tell the difference, but that's a tale for a different day.
Damn.
Oh, I had to do it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So Sir Snails a lot has a bone to pick with you. He might not have any bones, but
Yeah, I was like, he doesn't have bones.
um okay, but for the first real question, why don't you tell us a little bit more in depth about your writing journal? Like your bio said you were an elementary school teacher, but then you embraced your dark side and turned to the very successful industry of writing horror.
Right? Yeah, I went from making not that much money to making even less money.
Nice. Yeah, we love that for us, you know? Okay.
So, I mean, I just like a lot of writers, I've been writing like my whole life. I learned how to read really young and started writing little stories
In
about
the
like
womb.
not quite that young, but little stories and stuff. And I actually I wrote some horror stories as a kid, which I didn't discover until later whenever my dad pulled out some of these old things. Like there's a story called The Leaf Faller, and it was
Ooh.
like it barely has words, but like it's this little comic basically where there's like a tree with these creepy eyes in it. And like as you walk by, the creature makes a leaf fall down to distract you so it can jump on you
Ooh.
and get you. And I was like, I wrote this when I was like 5.
You should rewrite it and like sell it.
I don't know. It doesn't really sound like my brain.
Yeah,
Somebody can
TJ
steal
says
it if
so.
they want.
Tej and Irving, second and thirded me, so
Oh my gosh, I'll try and find a way to make it
yeah.
work.
I think that sounds hilarious, but also weird horror. There you go.
Right? I was shocked to find that I'd written horror that long ago because I did not remember doing that. Because then I moved on to like, in middle school, I wrote like melodramatic poetry that was terrible, like
Yeah.
probably most people do. And, I
I was
wrote a
into
lot.
fantasy. It was like a Sailor Moon ripoff.
Nice. I mean, I love Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
I wrote a lot in high school and I even like won like that Scholastic Golden Key Award and I was like I'm going to be a writer. But then I went to college and I got super intimidated and I ended up going into psychology instead. And then I at the very end basically decided like actually I want to go to grad school for literature and be a professor. So then I went and did that for a while and then I decided I didn't want to be a professor because I didn't want to like kiss ass.
Yeah. Let's
Like,
be
I didn't
real.
realize that was such a part of it, like and then I went into education and ended up getting my master's in that and teaching first grade for many years, and I had been writing, but not publishing, and it wasn't until I moved to Amsterdam for a year and I couldn't work whenever I was over there that because I wasn't like it took me forever to try and even become like legally living there, and I actually
Yeah.
never technically was. But I was like inspired by my husband. He was like, "You should really write that novel you always wanted to write." And that's when I wrote Crushing Snails, actually. And so that was whenever I was like, "All right, you know what? I'm gonna really do this." And yeah, Crushing Snails, exactly. And since then, yeah, I've written like, I don't know, hundreds of short stories and 6 novels. So
Yeah, that's really awesome. Did when you were writing your as a kid, like so you illustrated it?
oh yeah,
You're
yeah.
gonna have to share a photo of the leaf monster.
Yeah, okay, yeah. That one's
Okay.
probably one of my least bad drawings.
There you go. I did something similar where I wrote horror because I was obsessed with like Fear Street and Goosebumps.
Yes,
And
Goosebumps.
I wanted to be an artist too, so I illustrated it and a lot of red pencil crayons went into the creation and a couple phone calls home and my mom said I wasn't allowed to write horror anymore at school. Um so yeah.
I mean, I could see that.
Yeah. So then I don't know if you can hear my that was Jeeves, my robot butler, screaming at me because he's stuck. Hopefully that doesn't come across.
I did hear something. I was like,
He was like, help me, I'm stuck. I'm like, can you wait? Okay. Jeeves is not okay. Jeeves is stuck under my chinchilla's cage. And so he started screaming for help all of a sudden. And I'm like, I will suppress his voice. He shouldn't be trying to interrupt right now, is all I'm saying. I'd hate to have to punish him. Um, I love Jeeves actually. He like keeps the basement clean for me. Okay, so can you share some of your writing process? Because obviously, well, for one thing, you're very prolific. A second thing, you also tend to write really extreme or disturbing fiction. So that must be kind of like emotionally exhaustive as well. Like, because you're kind of like, sharing like a really like having to dive in really deep, dark topics and such. So can you share kind of how you go about writing these messed up stories?
so I have OCD, and so I have a lot of intrusive thoughts, and I actually really got into horror because I was like, I want to kind of have this catharsis of writing about them because it actually makes them less horrible to me to kind of really just dive into it. And so, oh my God, Eric. The
So
chat is
many
so
dead kids,
distracting.
says Eric. Is Eric wrong though?
No, because a lot of my intrusive thoughts are about my daughter, and a lot of my writing has been since she was born. So I definitely write a lot about motherhood and children, and also being a teacher for so long definitely factors into that. But I mean, I usually get struck with an idea, and with short stories, I just pants them. Like, I don't
Hell
really
yeah.
plan them at all. Yeah, they just kind of go how they go. And I try to do that with novels to an extent. I've had to kind of start to put some kind of skeleton, or else they just meander too much and I end up having to cut a whole bunch of shit.
A
And
child
so
skeleton.
but so I do have a little bit of a plotter in me because of that, and I've been getting better. It is making it a little easier actually to write them. So I'll give that to the plotters.
Yeah.
But snails don't have skeletons. Just shells. I love it. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I mean, honestly, I also get a lot of ideas from dreams. And so several of my novels have just been like the climax. I write out of order. And so I love Scrivener because I can move things around and I
I've
can
gotten
kind of,
so addicted to Scrivener.
oh, I could not write a novel just in Word or
Yeah.
anything. Or I don't write in order, so it would be terrible. It would be too confusing, you know? So I love it. Like just write whatever calls to me right then. So that skeleton does help me stay on track. That apparently children's skeleton.
Yeah. It's kind of like, the German practice, medieval practice where they would bury a mother and child in the walls of a castle and let them starve to death, thinking that their spirits would help guard it. It's kind of what you're doing, but with your stories and children. You're burying the children in
Exactly
your
like that.
stories. Yeah. Emma must have a child's skeleton to write a novel. For every novel, a child must die.
That's a good
May,
one.
I'm dead. That just slayed me. That was good. Yeah, so that's your tagline now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's so
I
funny
love
because,
children. I am, in fact, a
yeah,
good
you love
mother.
killing children. You keep forgetting a word there.
I do kill a lot of children in my fiction. I always have to warn people because it's always kind of a spoiler, but then I'm like, do you have triggers? Then I
Yeah,
might
that's kind of a
tell
big
you.
one, I feel
Like,
like.
yeah.
That children and animals.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Chase Snails has those in it for sure.
Yeah, because I know one thing I saw Jenny Kiefer in chat in this wretched valley. She literally has it as a little tagline, the dog survives, which I think a lot of people appreciated because like
Oh,
animal and children.
I
Um
mean, people ask that all the time,
yeah,
like, and I love that website, Does the Dog Die? I think that's super helpful for people,
yeah.
you know?
It's so funny that you say OCD because like I have that too, but mine's more about like germs and like losing control and things of that nature. So a lot of my intrusive thoughts are like that. Plus
Are you
like,
actually clean, like the stereotype?
yeah.
Because I'm not. So people never believe me that I have OCD.
Oh, yeah. And like, I mean, yeah, TJC sanitized. Yeah. So that was, I just was very blunt about like how my mind will work on one of my worst days where like everything is a trigger. Like, I actually, there, it's so embarrassing to admit because I know it's not normal. There have been times where I have gone to the bathroom and rubbed hand sanitizer over my body. Those are the
I
bad days. Working from home actually helps so much, which people don't understand because like it's a safe space. But like traveling is so hard for me. Oh yeah, thank you out now from Self Help Press, Neil. But yeah, so I know what that's like, and especially like trying to inject that feeling into your stories. Like, um, yeah, no germy child skeletons. No, no, thank you. Children I do find really germy. I taught in
yeah.
Japan. Oh my God. I don't, oh, they always wanted to shake your hand. And you know that the boys never wash their hands after peeing.
Oh no.
And
None
they'd
of
be
them
like,
wash their
ooh,
hands.
shake my hand. And I'm like, get the fuck away from me. Like, because you couldn't hand sanitize in front of the class because then people would be like, you know, whatever. I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm getting anxious. Okay.
Oh yeah. I mean, I
So,
taught first grade for years. Kids are so gross.
yeah, that's the horror story though.
Yeah,
That's why you switched to
definitely.
horror because it was safer than being an elementary school teacher. And yeah, so everyone's talking about, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's why you connect so much with Emma's work. Yeah, I would say so. And Irving says taught 7th and 11th grade as well. Yeah, they are germ vectors for sure.
Yeah, seventh grade, I bet is still really nasty. Like,
Yeah, I
hopefully by
remember,
11th grade, they're better.
I don't know, because they start hitting like the gross teens and they're like smelly all
11th
the time.
grade, they should be like under control by then. Like, they've been smelling
Mm-mm,
for a while.
not some of the kids, no. You always get those weird ones. I
All
remember
the
I,
kids are clean. Oh God.
anyways, yeah, they're gross basically up until basically 18. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. College students are not clean. That's true. It's like they revert because then they get free of their parents and they just get gross.
That makes sense.
See, this is why I have OCD with germs because you can't trust people. Anyways, okay, let's talk about what we are here for today, which is your collection. Despite the snails revolution, it is out now. People might win a copy. If they buy a paperback from Undertaker directly, you will get an ebook as well with it. And that's very heckin' convenient. So, um, with your collection, uh, keeping it spoiler free because obviously it's just out. A lot of people may not have read The Drowning Machine and Other Obsessions yet. So, can you give us a kind of spoiler free synopsis and maybe highlight 3 or 4 stories that you think are going to be like fan favorites or that are your favorites or you find most striking or you're most proud of?
So, I mean, it's hard to kind of give a synopsis for a short story collection, but it does have like several like through lines. It does kind of follow a like a lifetime in a way where so there's three sections, and the first section is like a lot about like motherhood horror, and so there's a lot of like infants and little kids, and then in the middle it's kind of about like losing your innocence, and so there's a lot of children stories. Yes, there are some dead kids in that part if you guys are wondering. Um, and then the last part is kind of more about like, well, it's definitely getting into like, teenage and then adult like problems and even into old age. Like the last couple stories deal with like being older and regretting things. And there's a story about dementia, which actually that's one of the stories I would highlight is one of my favorite ones is the last one, which is Follow the Moon, which TJ did a really beautiful job with the style of it. He had some great ideas, and it's really cool looking now. Because like I had ideas that I could not execute, and thank you TJ for making it so beautiful. And Brett did some illustrations for it, and he did it like my favorite one. It's for Follow the Moon because it totally fits the vibe. And that story is about dementia, and it's based on my grandmother. So like she's still alive, but she's like has really bad dementia now. And she had told me some of the things that she saw and some of the things that she back when she was lucid a lot, she would tell me like, oh, these are some of the weird things I've been seeing and thinking and stuff. And I mean, it's really heartbreaking and I love her, but I also was like, that's got to be the most horrific thing I can imagine. And so
Yeah.
I was like, that has to be a story. And with all the stories, I hopefully handle them in a tender way because I mean, they're dark and disturbing, but like the intro says that Jen wrote, that it's a lot about love and kind of the extremes of love. Um, and so let me see. Another story I want to highlight is the first story, which is An Angel of God, which is actually a line from, I mean, it sounds like just anything, but it's actually taken from The Life You Save May Be Your Own by Flannery O'Connor, which is one of my favorite short stories. And so they're kind of tied together, but mainly I just love that line so much in there because it's in this diner and this guy says, "Oh my God, she's an angel of God." And that story I can't tell you too much about without spoiling it, but it's very much about getting into religious trauma and definitely motherhood. And it's a lot of people say if you can get through that first story, then you'll be okay reading the rest of it because it's definitely got some of the goriest bits as well.
You
And
baptize the reader early.
yes, it's
If they
also
can
one of my
make it
favorite.
past that first bit, then they can survive the book.
Oh yeah, I think so. Like I think it is, yeah, kind of a good test to see like, okay, no, actually, let me put this back if that's too
Yeah.
much for you. Um, And another one I want to highlight is Mother of Machines, which is actually the one I'm going to read a little bit from later. And that one was in Obsolescence, the anthology from Shortwave, and it's about a teenage girl that falls in love with an industrial lathe, well, in lust kind of with an industrial lathe. And so that kind of gives you an idea of what the stories are like as well. When I tell people about that one, I'm like, it's like that and then some sad stuff too. Like if you like that's kind of the gist. Like, stuff like that. And the last one I want to highlight is Through the Holler into the Dark, which I actually it was previously unpublished, so it's new to this collection, and it is about a girl trying to find her missing sister by summoning this ancient Appalachian god. And so I loved it so much that I ended up writing like a whole novel kind of in the same world with the same god. It's a very different story, but like I love it. So if you like that story, then hopefully the novel I have on sub will get picked up because it's very similar. Like, so those are some of my favorites. Although it's hard to pick favorites with short stories. Like, I
They're
mean,
like your children. You
yeah, they really
murder and bury them,
are.
and then you say you don't have any favorites. We joke, but I do want to say, I think, like you were talking about love before, I do think you're right, like with the OCD and the intrusive thoughts, it's because you love kids so much and like, oh, I guess I don't mean to I'm assuming you love kids so much. I mean, you're
I
elementary school,
do.
yes, and you're a mother. That's one of the most horrifying things to happen, which is why like I could see it's one of the things you write so often about. But we had some comments. I don't know if you noticed, but May says an angel of God is so good. Lord Ior, I think that's L because everything's last
It's lore.
lowercase.
That's
Lore, okay. Oof, that story's gonna hit me hard. Irving says, I need to read that story about the dementia one. Um, Shouts out to Molly Halstead for doing the formatting and typeset. She's always wonderful. Um, Follow the Moon is beautifully written and made me cry, says Jennifer. Um, Elle says, oh dear God. May, in the process of telling me about Mother of Machines, Emma traumatized me. There were videos. Martin
yeah,
says,
some of you guys might know. Like, if you know, you know. If you
yeah,
don't, honestly, don't try and find out.
if you don't DM Emma and ask for the videos. The illustration of the lathe is freaking killer. It was the best of a good bunch by Martin says. Um, Rebecca says, I think this was the lathe one. That's her favorite. May says they're all equally dead. Lore Goop King. Thank you for the caps. So
Oh, yeah.
King of Goop. Um, yes. So next, what are your obviously these are really tough topics, heart-wrenching, brutal. But do you have any favorite parts of writing this collection besides sexy machinery?
Actually, writing that story was one of my favorite stories to write because I was inspired by an infamous, like, terrible video of someone dying.
Oh, good.
And it just kind of flowed out of me. I was in that flow state, which is my favorite, and it doesn't happen to me super often. And it tends to produce work that doesn't need almost anything done to it. And so I just love that one so much because I remember how great it was to write it because it's fun when you're in that flow state. I'm sure some of you guys know, some of you guys are
Mhm.
writers.
I had a recent experience with that. I wrote my first short after finishing my first novel, and it just flowed. And I was like, man, I should just give up on novels and go back to shorts again.
Oh, you're not allowed.
Laura says you sent them a lace sticker.
Yes, I
Oh
do. In
God.
fact, for the giveaways, I have
Oh.
stickers for everyone who wins and also bookmarks.
Okay.
So
So y'all better hope you win, is all I'm saying.
there's swag.
Is it a sexy lace sticker, would you say?
I guess if you are attracted to lathes, perhaps.
Yeah. Okay, so this will help you discover if you have a certain fetish.
That
There
would
you
be really
go.
interesting. If you do discover that, I would want you to tell me because that would be really bizarre.
Yeah. DM Emma if you find yourself attracted to industrial machinery. Um, so last question. What are you hoping readers will take away from your collection?
So I know a lot of people who are kind of wary of a lot of my stuff, like you were, because it is more transgressive and extreme in ways, and it does like approach some topics that are really difficult. Like in this collection, there's a story about a school shooting, although that one is not graphic, so you do not have to worry if you guys are worried about that. And there are definitely children who die and people who live with terrible regrets and depression and a lot of mental health issues. But I really approach all these things with like extreme empathy. And that is the point of all of my writing. Crushing Snails is the same way. Like, I don't write it to just shock, it's to get into that headspace and really make you think. And I like to kind of delve into those deeper, darker things so that you can kind of one, appreciate the things in your life more, and then also understand better because I definitely think that, I mean, we're all humans, and I think that looking at the different experiences people have can really help you feel more empathy and be a better person in general. And I think horror actually can really help people with that. And that's kind of my goal, I guess. Like,
Yeah, I will say, like, I was hesitant about anything extreme, and I went into reading Crushing Snails kind of worried because like obviously you know, we're friends and like I told you I was gonna read it and I was like, what if I like can't finish it? But it was just so delicately woven. Like the horror was so delicate and horrifying in like just the right ways that like I couldn't put it down. And like it's I still think about it and I've been like telling everyone to read it because I'm like, yep, here we go. This is the extreme horror I can endorse.
Thank you. I feel like if you like crushing snails and you like that way of approaching those horrific topics, I think that The Drowning Machine will also work for
Yeah.
people who like that.
And I found like some stories harder to read than others in the collection, but I still enjoyed all of them. It was just some where like the topic was harder to read, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
maybe because it's a topic that upsets me more. But like I read all of them and I still found your balance of writing about these really triggering events to be so delicate and balanced and um perfectly handled that it wasn't like it never felt performative or you were trying to like take advantage of the emotions that naturally come with the subjects. It was like you were truly exploring like your fears and the the sadness and grief that can come with those types of things while still being delicate about it. If I can say delicate one more time.
No, thank you. That's exactly how I would like people to walk away from the collection. So that
Yeah.
means a lot to me to hear that.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do our first giveaway. So
Woo!
everyone hit me with those drums. Yes, Elle is always ready with the drums.
I
Okay,
love
so
that.
I'm gonna hit my wheel of names. Renee Blair. Do we have a Renee Blair? Oh, you just drummed! Yay, Renee! So you get a signed paperback and stickers. Let me write down your name.
Yeah, congrats.
Congrats. So again, after the event, I'm gonna email all the winners and put you in touch with Emma so she can send you those signed copies and stickers. So don't worry. So the email that you used to register the event, keep your eye on it because that's where you'll get the email to from. You know what I mean. All right. So now it's time for the quiz. This is gonna be horrific. Watch, I warned everyone I can't pronounce shit, right? So here we go. So,
Be hard.
weirdly enough, the PowerPoint always opens on my second screen. So I will have to look here for Zoom and here for the thing. So sorry about that. If that looks weird, if it looks like I'm looking away, it's just because of that. Okay. Um, can you see my screen? I feel like I didn't actually say I would share it.
No, I don't see it.
Yeah, because I was dumb. Here we go. I have to actually share it. I swear I'm smart.
You are smart.
Okay, do you see it?
Yes.
Okay. So everyone in chat, how this is going to work is I want you, I'm gonna make sure I have chat up here. So what I'm going to do is this is the quiz. So, oh, I did pronounce shit just fine. Thank you. Obsessed with obsessions, because obviously the drowning machine is all about obsessions. And yes, it is uwu. Thank you. Quiz time. So we're gonna be doing a little quiz. You're going to oh no, Emma.
Oh no.
Crush it.
God.
TJ just fell out of his chair. Yeah, so TJ gave me the idea for this quiz, but didn't actually get to see this before. So I'm going to name this uh obsession. So it's the extreme fondness or love of something. And I'm going to give you four choices and say in chat which one you think it is. Okay? So, and I'm going to pronounce each one. It may not be accurate. It probably isn't. But Arachi butirophilia? Arachi butyrophilia. Emma, does that sound accurate?
No.
Okay. Is it arches in young women's feet? So like the fondness of arches in young women's feet, fondness of spider butts, fondness of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth, or fondness of arches in architecture. Okay, let's see. Getting a lot of threes, got some twos, some fours. A lot of twos, a lot of fours, couple ones. There's no all of the above, Teach.
Yeah,
Okay.
what? TJ.
Okay. Emma, count down from 10 so everyone can get their votes in.
All the way from 10. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And the answer is peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth.
That is so
There we
bizarre.
go. Yeah.
Like that to be like that's your thing. Like
Martin said for someone who actually had Latin in school, it's definitely 3. Well, you're right. I think when TJ first shared this one in the chat, Emma was like, what, did a fucking dog write this?
I mean, that is what dogs love.
Okay, so everyone keep score. If you got that right, you got 1 point, okay? Now again, there's no prizes. This is just for fun. Next
Yeah,
one, you get,
sorry. I'm just giving
yeah,
away so many books.
yeah. Okay, next one, Ilorophilia. Ilorophilia? Maybe.
I don't know.
Is it the fondness or love of auroras, sour smells, auras, or cats? Okay, countdown from 10, Emma.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I saw a lot of twos, but our Martin, I appreciate you guessing last because you do have the Latin. It is, in fact, cats. So, Martin, I appreciate you. I can see you doing that deliberately, holding off till the end, and I nailed it. Exactly. So, if you got the point, write it down. We're going to ask what kind of points you got at the end. Okay, next one. Oh, fuck. Epistaxiophilia. Epistaxiophilia? Fuck.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. Is it the love of nosebleeds, snails, chickpeas, or the sound of a knife scraping a plate?
Oh, that's terrible. Oh my God.
Okay, countdown from
All right.
10. Martin,
10,
answer last.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What did Martin say? Yep, it is number 1. I like that I got a lot of people with the knife one, though.
Oh, that's my worst nightmare. I hate that
Yeah.
sound.
All right, next is mixophilia. Is it the love of mythology, snot, slime, or mixology? Okay, count down, Emma.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yep, there we go. Here comes Mr. Snails a lot in with the knife. So I hope you're all keeping track of your points. There's 10 in total, so it'll be a score out of 10. Apotemnophilia. Apotemnophilia. If I say it fast enough, it doesn't matter. Everyone's just guessing before. Okay, so everyone's saying 2. Okay. The creation of medicinal tinctures or of apothecary practices.
So
Amputation of a specific limb or compulsion to be an amputee. Smoking or ingesting marijuana or pot. Or the ingestion of potent poisons or compulsion to poison oneself.
all right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Martin, Yes, it is number 2. And I love that Jenny just put snails in chat.
I love that too. They're so cute.
Next, batophilia. Bats, baseball equipment, cosplaying as Batman or believing oneself is Batman, or heights or being close to high buildings. Count down.
All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Martin says neither. Fear of deep water. My Googling said heights or being close to high buildings.
Oh no, watch us be wrong. And Martin's like,
Yeah. Yes. Oh no, it is Thalasio, isn't? Because I'm on the subreddit and it's all like scary shit under the water. Well, this is what Google said, so we're going with that, whether or not it's right or wrong.
Beto file. I love it.
Yeah. Um, Koi metrophile. Um, Urban Dictionary says a person, likely male, who suffers from a wanking addiction. Don't hit Carson Winter with a drive-by like that.
No,
So koi
Google.
metrophile, an obsession for coin meters, metropolises, cemeteries, or coin laundries.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, and an unhealthy love of them, says Martin. There's no such thing. The dead need loves too.
Who
Yep,
doesn't
so
like going
it's,
to cemeteries, right?
yeah, the goth do. Okay, this one's a fun one. Dinophile. Dynamite, dentistry, dinosaurs, or dizziness.
All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ooh, I see a lot of tuned threes. It's actually dizziness. Martin, what
Oh,
are you doing?
that's kind of
The
disappointing. I want to be dinosaurs
I
too.
know, right? Yeah, dizzy dinosaurs. No, unfortunately it's not. Yeah, Martin's just trying to mess with us now.
I love that. I should write a story about someone in love with dynamite. I would. Like,
Okay, genuphile. Genuflecting, genuflecting, knees, genies, or being generous.
hmm. All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Most of you got it. It's knees. There we
Good
go.
job, everybody.
So
Those are
hot.
weird fetishes.
Yeah. Okay, lochiophile. So what is a lochiophile? Is it childbirth, plaiting hair, lock picking, or lucky talismans?
Right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 89.
Okay. 89.
Oh,
Okay, it's childbirth. I don't know what it means to be obsessed with childbirth. Like you like watching it or you like doing it?
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
want to know. I'm sure it's watching it, honestly.
Okay, so that was all 10. So remember to trust no snail, but post your final scores out of 10. And always remember, trust no snail.
Oh, he's so cute, though.
But he's got a
Looking
knife.
good.
Why is he jealous? Because he can't trust him. He's got a knife. Come on now. He will slime his way out. This can only stop him for so long. I see some snail apologists in chat right now. Jenny wants to free him. He's got a bloody knife. It's so true. Okay, so that was our fun little quiz. I hope you all enjoyed it. It was just silly.
I loved it.
Thank you, TJ, for the idea. We were talking about it in chat, and literally he was like posting, and I was like, okay, so you know I can't pronounce anything, and you want me to pronounce all of that. Okay, let's just do it. I'll put it up on the board, you know. So it was just a little fun to see because there's a lot out there and like, you know, some crazy titles or whatever you call it. I guess it's all Latin. Um yeah. So everyone is like literally cheering on this snail and I don't know
Yeah.
how we should feel about that, Emma. The
I mean, that's
snail
why you
sabotaged
gotta
your
crush them.
launch. Yeah, the snail sabotaged your launch and they're cheering the snail on. They think he's cute with a knife.
I mean, he is cute though.
Okay, well, I'll send it to you. You should make a sticker of him, of my terrible
I
fucking art.
should.
If you did, I don't even know what I'd say to that. I'd be like, enjoy my shitty art that I used with my finger on my laptop screen.
I would make sure to send you like a bunch of them to give out.
Thank you. We'd have to make it like holographic or something silly.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
yes.
the shiny snail. Okay, so we did the interview, the giveaway, the quiz. So we're gonna do another giveaway.
Woo!
Everyone hit those snail drums.
Whoa, right
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, I know Ella's always prepared.
I love that.
Okay, hit those drums. Drums mean you get luckier. I don't know. Okay, hitting my wheel. And our winner is, oh, Thomas Shell Straight. I don't know how you say that last name. I'm so sorry. Thomas Shell Straight.
Woo!
But
Congrats.
yay! Yay, I said it right.
Oh,
Congrats, Thomas.
congrats.
Oh my God, what a shot in the dark. I just saw it and I was like, why? I feel like my tongue is tired from moving. Okay, I'm gonna
This
write
whole
down your
thing
name.
is just a test for you to see what you can pronounce.
Yeah, I know. This is just torture. Thomas. Okay, thank you, Martin. Um, Thomas Shellstraight. Thomas is the snail in chat. Oh my God, Thomas. So Thomas, again, I will contact you after through the email that you used to register, and we'll get your shipping information to Emma, and she can send you a copy of the drowning machine that's signed and may or may not have a refugee snail inside of it. Okay, now this is probably the number one favorite part of our viewers. It is time for the reading.
What the fair part is the giveaways, but
Well,
thank you.
that too, but yeah. So can you tell us what you're reading today?
So I'm gonna be reading the like first half of Mother and Machines. Don't worry, guys, it's not that long. I know the first half sounds like a lot, but so it's one of my very favorite stories, and I mean, this was the one that it's it's gotten a lot of attention, and I hope people like it's the Lathe one. So everyone who's like, yes, Lathe, like this
Hell
is the
yeah.
one. All right, Mother of Machines. Alina was 9 years old when she watched the man's sleeve catch on the lathe, pulling him inward and consuming him in its spinning clutches in mere seconds. Since it was a student holiday, her father had been forced to take her to work, and the monotony of the machine shop had nearly lulled the girl to sleep until the lathe took its victim. Her father grabbed her head, forcibly turned it away, but he couldn't stay with her and keep her gaze averted. He ran to the employee's aid, leaving her exposed to the chaos and gore unfolding on the shop floor. She knew she should keep her eyes shut tight, body tensed and turned away like her father had placed her, but the electric energy in the room, combined with the thick, throaty screams, was irresistible. She watched the accident happen as if in slow motion. The skull cracked, a soft gelatinous matter leaked onto the machinery. Then the sharp snap of a limb wrenched from its socket. It seemed to her child mind that the men of the shop parted and kept her view clear, framing it with their shaking hands, powerless to intervene. An insatiable fear gnawed up her spinal cord and nibbled at the base of her brain. Its tendrils branched out into her every pulsing nerve and solidified there, the shape of the terror permanently molded into her very being, immutable even after the years of art and talk therapy her father would take her to, desperate to piece her back together. No matter how hard she scrubbed at the acidic etchings, the cauterized shape remained. Alina's father apologized more than 1,000 times, but she knew in her gut there was a seed of resentment, for though he certainly loved her, the accident had torn a rift in their close bond. She'd heard him talk about it over beers in the living room when he thought she was asleep, mutter in a slurred voice how it wasn't his fault. If only Joe had been more careful, worn appropriate clothing, gotten a little more sleep despite the wailing infant at home, maybe it could have been prevented. But the shop did nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong. There had even been an investigation, but after installing a new safety sign and implementing a mandatory paid hazard training for the remaining employees, business carried on like usual. Still, Alina's trauma haunted him, in the way she rarely spoke, the loss of her impish smile, the way she startled at the slightest noise. Her childhood ended that day. The machine shop was his life's work, built over years of toil and effort, and Alina loathed how her lingering phobia and intrusive thoughts tarnished everything he had worked for. She knew her very existence dampened every joy, reminding him of the day he had failed her. She tried to reassure him that she knew it was just an unfortunate accident, but he couldn't bear that she still struggled with nightmares years later, or how, when he came home from work each evening, she couldn't bring herself to hug him. The smell of oil lingered on his clothes, gagging her, and a static touch crawled across his skin. She tried, but she couldn't stand to be near him until the delicate smell of shaved metal and burnt wire evaporated from his pores after a few hours away from the shop. The divide between them grew more pronounced each time he looked at her, silently begging for forgiveness. She tried to move on, but the memory waited for her, ready to resurface and startle her the moment she caught a whiff of steel dust or the soft purr of machinery whirring to life. Nearly every night Alina saw the lathe. It spun in apathetic cold circles, sometimes devouring flesh and shrieking victims, other times just rotating quietly. Sometimes she would feel herself forced into its workings, being rotated, carved, and whittled away by blades until her body was something unrecognizable. No matter what it did, the dream was a nightmare. Terrifying, unescapable. Alina tried every technique her therapist taught her, but nothing worked. Some nights were the empty relief of stale, sweaty, dreamless sleep. She hated those, but at least on those nights she didn't wake up with her heart fluttering in the back of her throat and the sickening iron-tinged taste coating her tongue. The years stretched her body and rounded her hips, and as puberty's grip enclosed around her heart, squeezing the bevy of turbulent emotions from it daily like a vice, so did its honeyed whispers creep into her ears in the sweltering nights and draw her thighs together in secret friction as she fell asleep and dreamed. The machine still waited for her there, its hum vibrating through her body, its maw tearing through flesh, juices running red and mixing with the lubricating oil. Over months, the nightmares warped and pulsed with the rhythm of adolescence. Alina still woke flushed and sweating in the middle of the night, but she no longer feared falling back into the mechanical dreamscape. She craved it. And that's the first half of Mother Machines.
If you want the whole adventure, think about getting that paperback from the press and getting a free ebook.
Thanks,
The
guys.
snails say don't do it, but do you trust him? He
Yeah,
had
not
a
with
knife.
snails.
He had a knife earlier.
Thank
Eric
you.
has already bought it. Good job, Eric. Good job. So beautiful, says Shelley, who may or may not be a snail.
Yeah, Shelly, that's
Yeah.
all suspicious, right?
Steve Neal says, love that story so much. TJ says that story is so metal. TJ.
Classic TJ.
Laura says Shelley is a snail, can confirm. And oh, Shelley is retreating very slowly. I think we've seen a lot of infiltration with the snail community. So, we got to be careful.
They're everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. No one let you out of pun jail. I know. Instead of putting the snail in jail, I should have put TJ in jail. TJ says they're just hoping to catch a ride on Emma's coat snails.
Oh my God. That's a bad one.
Martin's Martin says I would fall asleep every night to Emma reading, except I would not sleep because would I ever wake? Okay. Now here's the big giveaway. So this giveaway not only comes with a copy of The Drowning Machine, but also Crushing Snails, stickers, bookmarks, both of those signed. Yeah, we got the drums.
All the stuff.
I'm going to hit my little wheel now. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know what that was supposed to be. And our winner, oh, a very frequent supporter of my events and the authors, L. Lynn.
Woo!
Congrats, Lynn. Queen of the
Yeah,
drums.
it's those lucky drums.
Yes, congrats. So Elle is always in my events and she's always the enthusiastic drummer. So it's always kind of nice to see you and Elle because you're just always here supporting the writers and we love you for that.
Oh yeah, I love it. Congrats.
Okay. So I know we're slightly over time, but this event has been way too much fun. So if it's okay, we'll go a little bit over because now it's time to interrogate Emma. So if you have questions, it's time to ask it now. Like, did she smell the Cummings Award when she first got it?
Oh.
No, she did not. Okay, but you can still ask your questions. TJ says, remember the devils and the D-snails.
Oh
Oh,
my
Eric
God.
wants to know your favorite story in your collection.
It's hard to pick a favorite,
Hmm.
but if I had to pick, it'd probably be the first story, An Angel of God. I love that one. And that was the one that got me into Vestarian at their very last issue, like before they
Ooh, yeah.
disappeared. And that was like my favorite magazine. So yeah, I love that one.
And I do want to remind, if you didn't win, and you really want a copy, I would highly ask you to buy a paperback from the press. Undertaker Books is a newer press, and they're just fucking hitting it for the bleachers, whatever the baseball thing is, when you hit it really hard. And Amazon is full of slimy little snails that are trying to shit on them. So consider buying it directly from their website because not only are you going to get a paperback to go on your wall with that beautiful art, you can kind of see the cover here, but you'll also get a free ebook so you can read while you're traveling. Not a lot of presses do that. So consider giving Undertaker Books direct payment. I'll share the link again. Yep, they have a box ready to ship. Literally ready to ship. Buy it from that link and you'll get a free ebook. I mean, that's two books for the price of one, so you can travel with it but also have it on your shelves.
Mm.
So I'm gonna zoom back up because I saw a question and I was doing my little pitch. Steve Neal says, out of all the children you've killed, which was the hardest?
Oh my
Steve,
God.
goddamn.
Oh, that's actually a pretty good question though.
Yeah.
Hmm. In my short stories, I assume. Hmm.
Yeah. We're not
Kind of
talking about the
spoilery
real
too.
children you've killed.
No, I mean like in my novels too, because there's some like there's one in Crushing Snails that really gets me actually, but
Oh,
I don't want to
true.
spoil that.
Really?
Like in this collection, there are several children that die, and probably the one that made me cry whenever I reread it was Lavender and Dandelions. And so maybe that one, because that one felt just really real. Although also, oh, actually, there's one that would be like a huge spoiler. So I'm not
Okay.
gonna, but that
So we'll
one,
leave that one. We'll leave
that
that
one too.
one. Okay. Laura asks, what's something you haven't written about yet that you would like to?
Hmm. Well, right now I'm writing a novel about a family annihilator, and that's been something I've been wanting to write about. So I'm writing about that one though. So, that I haven't
I
written about at all. I don't know.
So
I
how
haven't
many
thought about it
children are
yet.
going to die with the family annihilator? Is it like the classic 2.5 children?
Kind of that whole thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's very like yeah, like breaking, like hitting your breaking point kind of thing. But it's I wanted to approach it like I do my other ones, like how does it feel to be that person?
Yeah.
And so it's fun so far. Hopefully that one turns out good. Watch you
So
guys
that was,
never see it because it just turns into
yeah.
shit.
Oh no, not with you. Come on, Emma.
Hopefully it gets
Um,
done soon.
it was really funny because like in a recent episode of Dead Languages, I brought up family annihilators because I listened to the last podcast on the left and they have like every Wednesday is their side stories, which is just news events. And I started
Mhm.
noticing like every time it was about a family annihilator. And I was like, what is with all these family annihilators? And I brought it up to Carson and he said he wanted to write a short story about it. And then he brought it up on the Discord and you said you were already writing about it. I was like, family annihilators everywhere. Like,
Right?
what's happening?
Synchronicity. I know. I can't wait to read Carson's story too.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. You're both, it sounds like you're both approaching it in very different ways. So it's gonna be really interesting to read both. I think both are gonna be really good. Also, thank you to Elle, hitting it out of the park. Thank you. Um, yeah, Elle says buy from indie publishers always, definitely. Rebecca says Cyan goes to the post office like every day, so you'll get it quickly. Steve is asking the important survival questions. May says my favorite chapter in Crushing Snails. Ooh, no
Oh yeah.
spoilers.
Yeah. No spoilers. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I will say I think there was a lot of reacts in my tweets about it when I got to that point. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah. I
won't
loved
say.
watching you read that, honestly. It's so
Uh,
fun.
oh, Rebecca wants to know if you have any writing advice. Like if a newbie writer came up to you and you were to give them your top number one, or if that's too hard, top number three.
Um, I mean, definitely, I know it's so like cliche, but like keep writing and write. I mean, you don't have to write every day. I think that that whole thing sometimes makes people feel intimidated because people have jobs and lives and stuff. But you get better. Everyone gets better. Even like incredible writers get better the more that they write. And I also think actually finding like a critique group that you actually like that you also have to like what they're writing and trust them and feel like it's like yeah high trust and that they're going to give you good critique and not just be yes men but also not tear you apart for no reason because I saw a whole conversation about that recently about people talking about terrible critique people that just tear everything like they don't see your vision, you know, so it's hard to
Yeah,
find, but I think that's actually probably the most beneficial thing because if they're willing to be honest with you but also get what you're trying to do, that's going to help you and make you improve so quickly.
yeah. Okay. May asks if you were obsessed with amputation, which limb would you amputate?
Hmm. Like, well, I would probably I'd probably do a leg. But like can it be like below the knee or does it have to be like at the thigh? Like
I feel like limb implies the whole unit,
oh
not a
man. All right. I
section,
guess it'd
right?
probably be oh, that's so hard. It'd probably be my left leg, but I have tattoos I love on that leg. So I'd have to like
You could
find a way
preserve
to
the leg.
preserve
You
it.
could
Yeah,
like
so I was
pickle it. Yeah.
like have it or like have it tanned or and like framed, you know.
Yeah. There's a Japanese artist in Japan who does that with the Yakuza tattoos.
I love that. Like, I
Yeah.
would love for that time when I die, you guys make sure I get skinned,
Yeah, everyone's skin animal when she
have my
dies.
skin preserved. I would be all for
Okay. Ooh, we got a few more. Eric wants to know what is your biggest literary influence?
Hmm. Well, I mean, as I mentioned, I love Flannery O'Connor, and I it's hard for me not to write things that are at least a little bit Southern Gothic because I am a Texan. Like, I don't know if it's super obvious. I don't think
No,
I
I
have
was
an
gonna say you don't
accent.
really have an accent. Can you like force it for a hot second?
Oh, no, like, because that's the thing.
Y'all,
I don't feel like I have an accent, but then
y'all,
like y'all come back now, you hear?
y'all come back now, honey.
But I mean I love Flannery O'Connor. I also who else? I mean I have so many people like Joyce Carol Oates is like a huge inspiration for me, and I'm obsessed with her. And the fact she's going to be at Stoker, I know she's probably not going to walk around and like talk to anybody, but I will if you see me there, I will because it's gonna be my first Stoker. I will probably be like trying to like get close to her so I can be
I'll be
like,
there
"Yeah,
too.
can I like touch your hand? Can I kiss your ring?"
You could
I
you
know
could
she's
touch my
crazy
hand. Oh wait, you're
online,
not
but
talking about me. Oops.
I know she's like kind of like crazy online sometimes, but like I love her.
Okay. Steve wants to know your anticipated 2025 releases.
So, yeah, I have a novel coming out in August, and it's coming out August 26th, and it's Shoot Me in the Face on a Beautiful Day. And it's also coming out from Apocalypse Party, just like Crushing Snails. And yeah, it's about a serial killer. I write a lot about serial killers. However, it does not have a like children and animals getting murdered in it. So it's
So we're not
definitely
gonna read it then.
no,
It's not gonna
I'm
be,
just saying like a lot of people have been asking me like where should I start with your stuff? And I'm like, actually maybe start with that.
yeah, less death, you know,
There's plenty of death. There's still
but not
serial killing.
children and dog death. Just wait for the family annihilator for that shit.
Oh yeah, I'm back to it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Rebecca wants to know favorite recent read.
Ooh, well, I did read oh my gosh, actually I've read a bunch of great things recently. That's hard to pick, but I did actually just finish rereading Between Doorways actually because I got it and I was just like I wanted well, not all of it, I reread like most of it, but like I jumped around through some of my favorite stories.
Out from Salt Heart Press.
I
Editor
actually
TJ Price.
I cannot stop recommending that anthology because I'm obsessed with liminal things. And I know everybody is, but like it's such a cool thing. I love that. The whole back rooms and like creepy, weird liminal spaces. So highly recommend it. And not just because you guys helped make it.
Martin wants to know if you decided to kill your husband, how would you do it?
Yes, he would want to know that since Martin is my husband.
I wasn't gonna say.
Like I'm gonna give away my plan, Martin.
Ha, nice try, Martin. Martin unzips. Actually, 300 snails in a human suit.
Oh my God.
Nice
The
try.
betrayal.
Nice fucking try, Martin. Um, let's see. Francis, you guys know about the guy that had to have his foot amputated and he and his friends used the meat to make tacos? Would you be willing to try it?
There's something about foot meat that sounds terrible. Like that sounds so gross. But
Yeah.
I have I have told people before, and it does very much bother them. But I'm serious that if there was somehow ethically sourced human flesh, I would try it. Like, but I want to make sure it's 100%
Emma, a cannibal
ethical.
confirmed, 2025.
I wonder what it tastes like. I wouldn't have to eat a lot of it. I just want to taste it.
Yeah, just see if it is
Can
fatty
Eric
like pick me. Yeah,
try
okay.
it? Like,
Yeah. Elle says, ma'am, Texas is not the South. It's its own freaking place.
oh, come on. It's part of the South. It is its own thing, though. Yeah.
Mhm.
They think they're like their whole own thing, own
Ooh,
country.
Eric's putting you over the coals right now. Favorite story from Between Doorways. Now you have to answer it
Well,
on
he's
record.
saying that because it's his. That's why he's because
Whoa.
I've told him that before. I love,
Called
love, love the
out.
creepy sock puppet, and it's so weird. Like he wrote a beautiful surrealism, which is like really hard to pull off. So
Yeah, if you haven't gotten a copy yet, you can get Between Doorways. It's a liminal space anthology edited by TJ Price, who is obviously involved in this collection as well. So he's a great editor, great vision for things of that nature. It's from Salt Heart Press. So it
yay!
is out now. Yeah.
I didn't hate your book. I love your book. I just
Oh
didn't read it
man.
recently. That was like a while ago.
Well, May, how many dead children did you have? Because I think that might correlate. Oh yeah, Eric out here fishing for compliments in chat.
I mean, that was good,
Oh
honestly.
yeah, May says only two dead cops. Were they children cops, so.
That would be really crazy.
Laura says my book had zero dead kids and Emma hated it. TJ says kindergarten cop. Oh God, it's not a tumor.
Oh my God.
Okay, okay. Last chance for questions before Emma has to escape. Oh, I did want to ask you. Well, I have two questions for you. Laura asks, so what's your favorite kind of snail?
Oh man. It's just like I don't know the kinds of
Yeah,
snails.
are there
Like the
different types of snails?
I mean, there definitely are,
Yeah,
but I guess like just the normal ones you see whenever they all come out.
yeah.
Like
They're like zombies.
they are like zombies. They all love to come out at night.
Yeah. Okay, so I have two ending questions for you, and this is how we'll wrap up. Steve is right. You've got to escargot. I love these. I love,
Nice.
oh my God.
Y'all
Okay.
are wild.
Yeah. Okay, so two last question. Number one, would you take a devil's deal of huge success with your writing books, like Stephen King level, but more? But For the rest of your life, a snail will be pursuing you with a knife in its mouth, and if it catches you, you die. You cannot fight against the snail. Would you take the deal?
You know what? Yeah, I think I could do it. Like, I mean, with that kind of fame and riches, I could definitely always be out of that snail's reach, have bodyguards and stuff.
Fair. Okay.
Be bigger than Stephen King? How
Yeah.
can I say no?
Sir Snails a lot. You will get your chance. And last question, what are you working on now?
So I am writing my Family Annihilation novel, which hopefully gets done. And I've also been writing a couple short stories, which I hadn't been doing. So I'm really like happy to be back in it. So I'm excited to see if hopefully they get picked up somewhere. You never know with short stories, you know.
Absolutely. That's the thing, like you kind of have to search around for it. Um, okay, then one last time, I'm going to share your socials as well as the book link. So again, if you didn't win a copy and you want a copy, buy it from the press, get a free ebook with it. And yes, her SSN is 000 snail, and you just translate the letters to the numbers, I think. That's, I think, how that works. Um, but yes, and congrats again for your collection, The Drowning Machine, coming out. You can see part of the cover here.
It's a
And
beautiful cover by Matthew Revert. He does an amazing job.
so be sure to support. If you do buy a book, consider leaving a review, posting it with a snail on social media so people are like confused and they're like, this has nothing to do with snails, but you will know. You will
I would
know.
love that. Please do that. That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah. So congrats again on the release and thank you for letting me host your launch party.
Thank you so much for doing it. It was so fun. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
And thank you for
Okay.
everybody that came. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you everyone. I know it's Friday night and thank you so much for spending this time with us. I know we went a little over, but it was just too much fun, honestly. And like the snails were out and about, so be careful, watch out for the snail trails. Be careful of your books on Amazon because it is a slimy company full of snails. But yes, again, and if you haven't got a copy and you didn't win a copy, buy it from Undertaker Books directly and you get a free ebook. And make sure you follow Emma so you get all her updates. She has a website, all her books. So if you want to read about all the kids who will die in the Family Annihilator novel, follow her so you can find out. And just post snails randomly to her social media. Just at her with
Yeah,
pictures of snails.
do that. I would love that.
Well, until next time, everyone, we love you.
Guys.
Bye.